Hello, hello. Welcome to the Unfinished Project Sessions with me, Eric, also known as Cocktail Party Effect. Firstly, thanks to Fold for putting this on. Really interesting project to work on. I was really excited to have this go forward, so hopefully be a lot of fun to do this. And secondly, thanks to everyone that has sent in projects. There's been loads, and they've all been wicked. Really nice to hear what people are up to and hear people's ideas as well, because there's loads of things that you would never think of doing. So it's always really inspiring to hear other people's work. Today I've picked 4 sessions to work on. I really wish I could go through all of them, but yeah, time and all that. Sadly, some of the projects didn't work as well for whatever reason. I don't know, collect all and save issues. I don't know, the dog ate the files or something. But, you know, it is what it is. So I picked 4 projects at random to work with, and hopefully it'll be helpful. Or not. I don't know. Maybe I'll make your tracks worse. However, let's jump into it. I've got my cup of coffee, and let's see what we can do. All right, cool. Let's start with this one. It's called All Trades. Couldn't find the artist name, so really sorry, but it's called All Trades. This is sick. I really like a lot of the sound design going on with this one. And so what we're going to do is just have a listen through and start working with it. wicked. Yeah, that's really nice. Some of the edits in that are really cool. Really nice pads as well. So, quite like the ending of that as well, actually. It's cool. So it's like 4 minutes long. I think all the elements are there. It's just one of these things where, to me anyway, when I listen to a track like this, it's always this thing of like, what is the track saying? Which I know is kind of a very vague thing to say. But to me, it's all about this kick drum. It's a really good sound, so I'm just going to turn that up a bit more. There we go. So this kick drum sounds wicked. I'm just going to turn this return off actually and just hear what it sounds like on its own. So they're quite similar. So what I'm going to start doing, so this is something I always do with my own tracks, because like I know this pain of putting loads of elements in, and you keep making more and more and more, and not realizing actually you've got a strong track already with fewer elements, or at least just with space. So first thing I'm going to do is actually start to mute stuff. So let's have a listen to this bit here. What I'm going to do is start taking away some of these noises. I'm going to start sort of just make it really just see, to me you could do a lot with just that. Let's try like messing about with this. See, to me, this little scratchy texture, wishy-washy thing, I think it actually takes away too much of that impact of this sound. Because it's a really cool sound. And I mean, unless maybe you took just the transients of it, I mean, that sounds, to me, that sounds actually quite cool. It sounds like a dance floor clearer, but especially the rhythm anyway. But I think what you could do with this is maybe focus more on this kick drum and just play with the spaces a bit more. So first thing I'm going to do is zoom into this and take some of these out. Just see what happens now. And that gives you a lot of room as well to just play with this sound. So, you know, meaning you could just do little drum fills with that. So let's just do like the classic roll going up to this sound. Consolidate. Let's roll out. Yeah, straight away it gives that kind of like urgency to it. Because the beginning of this track, let's have a listen what we can do. I really like this. This is cool. And I'm just gonna like just take stuff away and just see what happens. And then I'm going to add that rim shot in. See, straight away that gives it a little bit more of a progression. I know it's a bit sloppy from my part. I'm kind of turning on tracks and off tracks, but to me that sounds a bit more exciting because you've got that space and that cool sort of call and response kind of thing. The next bit I really want to look at is this sound. See, that's wicked. That's a wicked sound, and I think that should be appreciated more because, again, sort of change it up a bit, you could use this as a cool response as well. So, you know, after you're done with this section here, let's just take this out. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm going to take these rim shots out because it might get in the way of those ones. And let's see. Oh. Yeah, cool. So I'm just going to take out these little hits. Sorry for that random spike in volume there. And yeah, let's see what happens, shall we? Cool. I think you bring the rim shots in. So this section here, to me, again, has way too much stuff going on. You could let this really breathe. Again, use this kick drum as your main topic in this tune. And the end of the day, it's like that thing, you know, it's the less is more kind of mentality with this. So again, let's take this scratchy texture away for a bit. Sorry, I'm being very brutal with the with the stems. This is how I work on my own projects. I tend to just, you know, have this mentality of, you know, I'll listen to it for a bit and then just delete stuff. I can always go back to an old version, but I quite like the idea of cutting the weeds, as it were, you know, and you know, just saving them over there for a bit. So let's have a see. So straight away to me, again, that has more impact, you know. So take a lot of this away, and you could introduce this later, because in parts like this, and I'm going to take away these little blips here, because they're really nice, these little blips, and I think they could be introduced a bit more earlier actually in the track. Example, like you've got some of these spaces and then second half kind of thing, just to add in, because some of these glitchy fills you've done are really cool. So again, play with the silence, you know, allow silence to kind of sit in these tracks between hits, because yeah, it's way more dramatic. So let's just edit some of these out. And you could always let this roll a little bit, actually. Oh, sloppy editing on my part there. There we go. So you kind of get the gist where I'm going with this. Basically, take a lot of that stuff away, like the scratchy percussion stuff. Use it as gap fillers, you know, because I think again they sound really nice just on their own as texture. You can pan it left and right and all this kind of thing, but yeah, to me, really play with that space. So let's have a little listen, roughly, to how I've destroyed this track. Yeah, and let's have a listen to the impact, and of course, you know, not talking about the mix and stuff. I really like those pushes you've done, that like that. That's really cool. So yeah, you can see it's just giving it a bit more space and breathing, you know, breathing space and more motion and all that kind of stuff. And the one thing I thought about at the beginning as well was I'm going to take this first part away. There you go, nice. See, again, that gives it, yeah, more space. Another thing you can do with these kicks as well, to my ears as well, is maybe adding a bit of convolution reverb to it, or something just to give it a bit more, yeah, put it in a room, basically. So let's just go here and just type in reverb. I'm massively dyslexic, by the way, so I can't spell a lot of things properly, but I managed to got reverb right. That's good. So opening this up. Oi. There we go. So I'm going to put this maybe a spring. Yeah, a little bit of spring. And one good thing to always do is just to make sure, yeah. There we go. Yeah. It's amazing how much a little reverb just goes a long way with just giving things a bit more attitude, or a bit more doom factor. So for me with this track, to finish it, I think you've pretty much got a basic arrangement going. I just think you need to play around a lot more with space, elements, do more of those cool edits, like and try not to clutter those sounds too much. You know, especially those kick drums, especially because it sounds like a really well worked on kick, and it's a shame to lose that. So yeah, I think I'm just going to leave this one for now, but hopefully that was helpful. One thing you could do as well, just as a sort of fun little trick, is if you take, these kicks or anything like that and do a little bit of dub mixing to it. So, automate the returns and sends, give it a bit of feedback delay and all that kind of stuff. Again, giving it motion, that would go a long way with this as well. But yeah, wicked track. When you think you finished it and stuff, or is a track ever finished? Send it over. I'd like to hear the finished thing. All right, cool. All right, cool. Next up, we have this one by E11, The Other Way. So I'm going to give this a quick listen and see what we can do. I'm just going to quickly check the master. Okay, I turned that off. Yeah, I didn't realize you self-mastered it, so I almost blew my speakers when I first played it. So I'm going to turn this off if that's all right, and let's just have a listen. All right, cool. There you go. Rookie mistake, not turning on the mic. Sick. There's some really cool elements to that. The first thing I'm going to focus on is this sample. That bleep is cool, and I think you could use a lot of that in there. To be honest, I think this part here that's nice, this bit here. I would use this bleep more and actually really utilize that sound. Let's just sort of I'm gonna put this on a separate channel here and then just, and I'm gonna like just put echo on it Bit of reverb. Do you see what I'm doing here? Like, there's like again like a really nice sound in this, and I think you could really use that way more. Whether it's a melody or because the one thing about these sort of samples, there's a lot to them if you just sort of mangle them up a bit. One really nice trick with tunes, especially with sort of slamming tunes like this, try and use like, I don't know, let's say 3 elements, and try and use those 3 elements for everything, by stretching or reversing or resampling, and seeing what happens. Because actually, again, it's a really nice sound, and you could just loop that over and over again. Let's go through. There we go. And one really important thing I find in these kind of tracks is, do indulge in kind of stops and starts and drum fills. Example, taking this kick drum. Oh, that's a bit too jazz. Let's see. Yeah. And really sort of allow things to really stop for a second. That can just add like such a massive difference of energy. Sometimes these kind of slamming tracks like this, they can lose momentum because it ends up becoming too much of the same thing over and over again, which obviously can be great, for the style it is, but I think for a track like this, to my ears, I can hear it could do with a lot more sort of drum fills and trickery. Let's have a listen to what we can do over here. Yeah, so this sound, for example, is a good one. As it sort of builds. Yeah. So that's another little trick as well that I always like to do, is like edit as the timeline's going along and kind of get into the rhythmical structure of things. And I think with like tunes like this, it's fun to be polyrhythmic and really messing around with the edits. And of course, like one thing I personally love in tracks like this is when things start to sound a bit weird and then they end up somehow, some way coming back onto the bar. I think that's a real nice piece of ear candy to have. So let's have a listen to that again. could definitely do like a little cheeky stop and stretch there, probably. I don't think you need that rave loop in there. I think you've got too many percussions going in, and just play around with those. Just really mess about with different structures of them. That's cool. Yeah, and don't be afraid to just do little edits, you know. Just really just mess about with that. You know, like just stretch things, reverse things, like just at the end of the bar. You know, again, it just makes things way more kind of just rising. And of course, like sometimes, like I did here, just take out elements and let things sit. Sometimes when we have so much stuff going on, it's cool for the big peak of the track, but then just clearing out everything for a second can make it so much more heavier. You know, just letting those sounds proper talk out. But with this tune, yeah, it's wicked. It's wicked. So hopefully that's some help. You know, just yeah, just drum fit it out, you know, and have some fun with some edits, and try not to get stuck in a loop too much. Always work forwards with edits, because it's quite fun to surprise yourself. You know, one thing I always like to see with things like this is like, you know, allow the unexpected to happen when you make edits, you know, and sit on that for a while and listen to it and see what you think, you know, because what can be a bad edit could actually be a goldmine edit. So yeah, wicked. Nice tune. All right, cool. Next up, we have Deizizu. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. But this track that is a really weird tune. I really like it actually so far. So again, let's have a little listen to this. You know what I'm going to do with that? I'm just going to take away that, where is this? See, to me, straight away, that is really cool. The stripped downness of that is really nice, because that bass line is really it's a really cool bass line. And I think that's something definitely to be proud of in this track, actually. It's really nice. You know, what you could do with this melody is, you know, if you had it more in the front of the tune. Yeah, see that straight away. To me, that's wicked. Then you can maybe put this lead in back in later. You know, and you could mess around with like the pitch of it, maybe. You know, jump straight back into that. I'm just gonna see what happens. And this is also a really fun thing to do when you're stuck with a track. I just call this butchering, when basically don't think about it being smooth or anything. Just go, right, what's it going to sound like if I just drop it back in? There you go. See, that's really strong. You know, and that's a real case of just messing about maybe with the rhythm now and again. You know, for instance here. Swap it around maybe. Yeah, wicked. There we go, you basically got almost a finished tune. There we go. See, that's the thing. It's like really, really strong sounds, and to me, it sounds like obviously, I could be wrong, but it sounds like uncertainty when you're not sure there's enough going on, so you just throw it all in. But actually, like that kind of trick of big intro with the stuff and then just cutting it all out just to like the bare basics, it really just sticks to the point more. So don't be afraid of like really just stripping it back. Again, you've got a good sound, let it be heard and let it be enjoyed. Some little tricks actually with this you could do. It's a nice sub. You always sort of parallel distort that a little bit. Let's see. Let's get the overdrive or something. Put an overdrive in there. And this is something I really like to do, is basically when you get an EQ before it. And what I'm going to do is basically use 2 EQs. So if Ableton crash on me, there we go. Take out that sort of bass. I'm going to force it in there. And doing that, even though it looks a bit mental, it's quite nice because basically you're getting that kind of honk kind of sound. Then you could always put like a bit of reverb on there, maybe a convolution or something. Try out different things. Maybe let's send the kick. Could be cool. So yeah, little tricks like that, just giving it this kind of overtone, bit of reverb again, a room to sit in, is always really nice to do. So I think for me, this track is like, I mean, what I could suggest it needs is maybe some more salt and peppering of reverse crashes. I don't know, dub siren. I don't know, some little bits and bobs. Maybe again some dub mixing. Like sort of delays flicking off. And what I mean by that, if anyone's kind of wondering, is like I would use the desk, but the problem is it's routed into the microphone. But let's find these samples. Where are they? Yeah. So, basically using the delay a little bit, feedback turned up. Especially for this bit. That kind of thing. That would basically just make it work out, I think. Like just those big kind of like dramatic reverbs and then suddenly just cutting them off. Definitely equals epicness in a kind of build up or something like that. But wicked tune. I think this is like one of these tunes to me that just it makes me smile when I listen to it, because it's just like such a weird bass line, and it has loads of wicked potential. So nice one for submitting this one in. It was really fun to work with this one. Cool. All right. I think this will be my last one And this one's a bit more of a different pace. High versatile audio. So again, let's have a listen, shall we? Once again, rookie mistake. Microphone is off. That's really cool. I really like this bit. See, that's really nice because there's like a lot of groove to this. I can tell you've taken time to actually really work on this groove, which is a really good thing to do. I think to me, like one of the things here again is too much stuff cluttering it when it comes in. So let's just have a listen to this bit when it comes into the tune. Yeah, so taking that pad out as it comes in, I feel it's a good move because it really lets that come out a lot more. And what you could do is actually use this pad as a bit more of a kind of falling in motion, you know, just letting it kind of whoop, go into these sort of different parts. So example, let's just try this out. Making a little new channel for that one. There we go. One really nice thing again is a bit, again, overdrive. And of course, you could always really strip down this whole let that be in the other half of it, you know? Bring those hats in. And I think with this, a lot of it's to do with automation as well, really. Yeah, cool. I tried to be clever there with the filter. Again, giving it movement. There's nothing wrong with using a bit of auto filter sometimes, like, it sounds really cheesy, like, to do the kind of filter sweep thing, but I always find it sometimes just works, with that kind of smoothness. And what I've done there, I've just done a little bit of filter side chaining. Again, it kind of adds that kind of groove. And these little bleeps you've got. Where is it? That's really nice. And it sounds really cool, even on its own. If we just sort of bring that in. Sick. Because now you can really play with that. Do the classic thing. Let's pitch it down and let's consolidate that. And really, really just play with that groove. Don't be afraid again to just sort of really just a really fun thing as well with tracks like this is just to resample the whole track. This is going to be a bit weird, but one really fun thing is just resample the whole track for a second. And use this as kind of like little drum fills. So, you could, let's say, reverse this. Let's see what happens now. Again, just keeping that energy up, and let's have a little play around with this bit. So yeah, just recording bits of it. And I always just find this really fun to do, just sort of filling in gaps with the same audio and just seeing what happens. So, because obviously the great thing is with stuff like this, you kind of get this dead. And that gives you a lot of ability to kind of just mess about with different effects on the whole tune. Example, That's quite nice. And then just play with this melody you've got. You could even just make it go as simple as just straightforward now. Oh, wicked. And actually, funny enough, what you could do, I don't know if this is going to sound cheesy, but let's see. Let's try this out. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do something a bit radical. And I always find this is quite useful. Sometimes when you're sort of a bit stuck, this can really help a lot. When you, let's see. Oh, it's a bit too jazz. Bit too jazz. Sick. Yeah, let's just drift that out. So yeah, I think with this track, just play around with the elements you got again and strip things back, move filters about and all this kind of stuff, and let kind of these like synths and stuff really breathe and be heard. I know it sounds similar even to the other track saying about stripping things back, but I think that's always nice to be reassured. Actually, your sounds are really good. It's just letting them be heard again. You know, I know that feeling again because it's this whole thing of like, is it enough going on, or you know, should I put more stuff or whatever? But a little goes a long way because this drum beat. I mean, I could listen to that drum beat on its own. It's wicked. So, you know, too many cooks spoil the broth, as we say. So, yeah, really play around with that. Cool. All right, cool. Yeah, that was mega fun to work on everyone's sessions. Do send them over once you've done completing them, because I'm always interested to hear people's tunes. Yeah, and again, if this goes well, maybe we can do another one when I can work on all the other projects and stuff like that. And of course, if there's any questions you might have, feel free to contact me on Instagram or yeah, Instagram's the best. I'm not a very social person on social media, but I'll try my best to reply. So wicked. And again, cheers for the submissions. It was really nice to work with. Ciao. Hello. Hello. Welcome to the Unfinished Project Sessions with me, Eric, also known as Cocktail Party Effect. Firstly, thanks to Fold for putting this on. Really interesting project to work on. I was really excited to have this go forward. So hopefully be a lot of fun to do this. And secondly, thanks